Today I'm sitting with Susan Wack, who's a geriatric care manager, who's going to talk to us a little bit about choosing the right rehab facility for you. Hi Susan, how are you doing today?
Good, Alan. Thanks for inviting me.
I thank you for coming on with us. So I understand we're going to talk a little bit today about choosing the right rehab facility after a hospital stay.
Right.
So what should we know? What should our folks look out for?
Well, frequently I get calls as a geriatric care managers from families in crisis. Their parent has had a health crisis. They've fallen, maybe needed surgery, or have some other type of underlying medical condition that has warranted them to be in the hospital. They are then informed that their parent is not safe to return home at the time of discharge and that they need to find a rehab facility.
That's got to be a little scary.
It is. It's a high crisis time for families, and what we do as geriatric care managers is walk them through what to expect. Under Medicare rules, the older adult has to be in the hospital 3 days for them to be covered under Medicare for days 1 through 20 in the rehab center. 100% will be covered days 1 through 20. So it's important that family members check with the discharge planner to make sure that they've had a formal admission to the hospital.
Is that a potential landmine?
A huge landmine, because if they have not been formally admitted to the hospital and had that 3-night stay overnight, they could be responsible for the entire out-of-pocket expenses for the rehab.
And that can get pretty expensive.
Oh, yes.
So what should folks be keeping an eye out for when they're trying to choose a rehab facility, assuming they meet the requirements?
Well, I usually recommend a few things. The first would be when you're choosing a rehab facility, you want families to look for facilities that are close by to where they will be able to visit.
Okay.
Because I think staff will see that families are involved, and as a result, I think your loved one gets better care because they see families are involved. The other thing that I recommend is that for families to look on Nursing Home Compare, which is a website on Medicare.gov.
Okay.
That has the most current survey information, and there's a 5-star rating system, with 5 being the best and 1 being not so good.
So that's the federal government doing an assessment of these care facilities?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then the state government also has a survey team that goes in yearly and evaluates every nursing home. And I say nursing home because the rehabs frequently are under the nursing home umbrella.
Okay.
So you get a good sense for the quality of care that's being provided overall.
And the quality of care is pretty consistent. If a nursing home has good ratings, then their rehab facility is going to be equally good or on par.
Yes.
Or that's at least a good indication of quality.
It is a good indication.
Okay.
And then the last thing that I recommend is checking with the nursing home ombudsman, because although these surveys have been done, they may not be the most current information, and I recommend families to check with the nursing home ombudsman to see if there's been any recent complaints filed against a particular facility.
An ombudsman. So what is that? What is the role of an ombudsman, and who do they work for? What's their job?
The ombudsman program is a federal program that's implemented statewide, and they work for the state. They are advocates for older adults and the families that live in nursing homes and assisted livings. They will go in when a complaint is filed and try and mediate the issue and help families know what their rights are.
So you know that they're looking out for the best interest of the person who's receiving rehab, or the patients, or the people in the care facility.
Absolutely, yeah. And they will let you know if there's been a recent complaint filed from the time the last survey was completed to when you're considering going. Because remember, the surveys are only yearly, so a lot can happen in between.
Okay. What about a child who's out of state? Often kids move to other states than where their parents are. In that sort of situation, are there any things that people want to keep in mind, or things that become more difficult?
Well, it's really a challenge. When the kids come from out of state, they stop and see mom or dad in the hospital, and then they've got to go and run to choose nursing homes. If they're not able to come here, I really strongly recommend that either a friend or family member go through the process of the search, because unless you're there on the ground looking and evaluating, you can't make an informed decision. The other option would be to check with a geriatric care manager like myself, who can help walk them through how to shop for that.
So this sort of research is something that geriatric care managers do then?
Oh, all the time, yes.
Okay. Are there any other sort of closing thoughts you might want to share with our audience as we head out?
Not that I can think of.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for sitting here with us and sharing some of the knowledge that you have about this problem that a lot of folks face. And I thank you all for joining us today here at the Elder Care Channel, where we're trying to answer questions that you have to help make you better informed. Thank you. Take care.